Kevin Samuels. I have a man crush on Kevin Samuels because this guy is, he's just the shit. All right, so I'll explain to you who he is, and then I'll explain to you why I have a man crush. Kevin Samuels is his regular job is he is an image consultant. He's an image consultant. He's a professional shopper, a personal shopper, and he is a style coach. Okay, he's also a YouTuber, but his main income is image consultant, which means he picks out clothing for very, very, very wealthy people. Okay, so he's in that world of very, very wealthy people. He's in that world, and he worked himself up. From what I read online, his annual salary just from that is 1.3 million. Okay, and that's not why I have a man crush on him. Okay, the reason why I have a man crush on him is because he became a YouTuber. And because of the world that he came in, he became a YouTuber. He's got like 300,000 followers on YouTube, okay, which is a hell of a lot more than I do, okay? But his YouTube isn't about style or clothing. His YouTube is about relationships. And his YouTube, I think, is more personal to him than how he makes a living. His YouTube is basically educating women on what men want, especially high-valued women. Now, why this hits home to me is because I did a video on this 4 months ago, and it was called "This One Is for the Ladies," and it was about what men want in a woman. And it is very similar to what he explains to these women. Now, the reason why I have a man crush on him is somehow, some way, he's able to get women to call in and say they want a high-valued man. And he has to explain to them why a high-valued man would not want them. And I don't know how he does it. I can't even get a girl to come on, guy talk with me, with the guys, just to have some laughs. This guy has people waiting on calls to speak to him on his YouTube channel about how they can get a high-valued man. But here's the difference. In my world, a high-valued man is like 6 figures, over 100,000. He's talking about men making $500,000 a year or more, right? And these women call up. These are regular, average women. Some of them are, successful. In my world, they make, over $100,000 a year. And they're single or they're divorced and they have children. And they feel that they want high-valued men. And he has to explain to them why they're not entitled to these men. And the reason why they're not entitled to these men is because basically these men that make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year or more, or even more, like in his salary, 1.3 million or even more, right? Is because these are like the top earners in the country. Okay. These are the top 5% in the country. And they have their choice of any woman they want. And these girls have to call up and they basically ask him questions like, how do I get a high-valued man? Or how do I think I deserve a high-valued man? And he has to break it down and explain to them, right? The thing is that these are regular girls. These are regular, average girls. Some, like I said, some of them are a little bit more successful than others. Some of them are young. Some of them are older, my age, divorced with kids, and he tries to break it down. But the problem is they don't listen. The conversation becomes combative. So if they'll call up and they want his advice, and he's sitting there and he's all class. Okay, this guy is all class. This is why I have him, man. This guy, he's dressed to the nines. I mean, I'm in a friggin' t-shirt doing this in my man cave with my Gary Carter autograph. He looks like he is in like, I don't even know. Like he's got candles lit and music playing and this beautiful furniture, and he is dressed to the nines. This guy is no joke. You could tell by looking at him that he's he's a baller, right? And then he has to explain to these women what these type of men that they desire want. And what they usually want is younger, no children, okay, beautiful, submissive, cooperative, feminine. And he has to explain to these women that most of them are very sassy and very aggressive. And he says, what you're doing right now is not what, and the whole thing becomes a shit show, for lack of a better term. It becomes actually really entertaining for us to watch and listen to. But the majority of these girls that he explains it they don't seem to get it. He'll explain, and then it'll be like, yeah, but I feel, yeah, but what if I don't agree. But you called in for advice, right? You called in for advice. He's giving you the advice and you're disagreeing with him. You stayed online on a phone call. You stayed online for God knows how long, waiting for your turn to ask his advice. And then you want to say, no, that's not true. I mean, it would be like if, I'm trying to think the last time I stayed on, I don't know. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say I call up a woman who wants to give, I'm single, and I stay on hold for 45 minutes or an hour to talk to a woman to figure out what a woman wants so I could become married, right? And then she tells me, okay, this is what women want. And I go, no, you're wrong. Nah. But I just stayed on hold for an hour wanting to speak to you. It's amazing. So I did one about dating single moms, and he is very, very direct. And he says most of these men do not want single moms. They don't want divorcees. They don't want baby mamas. They want young women with no children, because his rationality is these men that make this kind of money are over 35, over 45, 35 to 55, because that's when the majority of men make their best living. And they put everything on hold to create this wonderful career, this very lucrative career. And now they're ready to have children and have a wife. Well, they don't want to put their time and energy and money into somebody who already has children. These type of guys want somebody who wants somebody younger in their 20s and is able to give them 2, 3, 4 kids. And that is his legacy. Because once you get to that type of world that he's in, that's what these guys are looking for, right? And he gives them, I mean, there's hours of this stuff. I don't know how this guy gets these girls to call in. It blows my mind. And there's hours of this stuff on YouTube. But it basically reiterates exactly what I said on, it's called, I put dating single moms, yes or no. And then the other one was, this one is for the ladies. And that was for the values that men want in a woman when they're ready to settle down. And he basically reiterates the same thing, only he's more direct and it's even more extreme, because these men he's talking about are even more selective because they can be, right? But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to play a little 15-minute clip of what this guy's like. And it's just fantastic. But I'm going to put my link to Dating Single Moms in the comment section. I'm going to put the link of this one's for ladies, the 2 that I did. And I'm also going to put the link for his YouTube channel so you could see for yourself. I mean, this guy I'm like addicted to watching this because it's just mind blowing. The conversations fascinate me, because I never in my life called somebody and asked for their advice and then asked for their professional opinion and then argued with them over the opinion they give me after I called to ask. I've never done that in my life. And almost every woman, he had a girl, I swear to God, he had a girl call 70-year-old woman, 70, 70, and said she's not ready to date now, but in 2 years time, she's going to be ready and she's going to want a good, high valued man. 70. And I'm like, where does he get these people from? They're delusional. It's unbelievable. But you have to watch it. I'm going to leave a clip. And don't worry, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, a lot more videos coming up pretty soon. Okay, so don't listen, subscribe, like, share. And listen, I like this guy's stuff so much. I'm promoting it like I'm just doing it because, like I said, I got a man crush on this dude. Okay, this guy's great. You got to check it out. All right, I'll see you guys soon. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, your first name is Faith?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'll be 30 next month.
Okay, what do you got for me?
Well, I'm a single mom, and I think that it's okay with wanting a high value man. Like, I think it's okay.
You said you think it's what?
It's okay for me to, I'm about to start dating again, and I think that that's what I would like to date, and I think it's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, were you married?
Yeah.
How long?
4 years.
Okay. And was your husband a high value man?
He was working his way up to one, but no.
Okay. What does that mean?
He was starting businesses. He was a military man, and he was, getting off his feet. So.
All right. How many children do you have?
2.
All right. So to the market, what you're basically saying is, hey, the man I married and had 2 children was not high value. But now I'm coming to the market, divorced, older, with 2 children, wanting a man who was financially better than the one I had 2 kids for.
Yeah. I know it sounds bad, but at the same time,
it sounds exactly like what it is. I don't fault you for wanting what you want, but the question always comes back, Faith, why should a high value man pick you versus picking why should a high value man pick you versus picking a woman he can make his own children with?
That's true. I agree. Because when I had kids, I didn't want a man with kids also. So I agree. However, I'm just saying, I think that I think that I could get a high value man possibly just because I have kids. It's not going to make it like, oh my gosh, she has kids. And I was going to ask you a question.
Hold on. What city or what state are you in?
Alabama.
Oh, one of the poorest states in the union. You just think you can get a high value man? Do you know any high value men?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you a question. This guy, he's talking to me. He's a high value man. And I was just trying to figure out, like, does he really like me, or is he just like probably wanting a booty call because he's high value? But
probably number 2. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Okay,
probably number 2.
He has no kids, and I'm just trying to figure out, like,
he has children.
No, he doesn't have any children.
Right, ma'am. I mean, all right. So let's fast. Really hold on. Listen. Do you have a son or a daughter? Do you have a son?
I have 2 boys, a 1 and a 2-year-old.
Okay, so let's fast forward 35 years. And your oldest son is an accomplished attorney making $400,000 a year. And you've had to work with your ex to put your son through, University of Alabama, through Harvard, through, junior law, all that stuff. And he comes home and says, Mama, I'm getting married to a woman, a woman with 2 kids. You're going to say, all right, son, I worked all my life for you to go do that.
I wouldn't,
yes, let's go
I wouldn't be happy at first. However, if she was...
No, see, now stop right there. Stop right there. Why wouldn't you be happy at first?
because I'll be like, you can start your own family. However, if that's what
let's
you
keep
want,
going. Let's
if
keep
you want to be
no. Let's
stepdaddy,
not go down to however. Let's keep on that path. You can start your own family because
that'll be the right thing to do. That's what I
not the right thing, the better thing, because you didn't raise your son and go through all that for him to take over some other person's bills.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to you.
All right.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry, man, but that's the truth. Are your children an
I
asset?
see what you're saying, but it's
but you still keep the
I see what
but.
you're saying,
Are your
but it's just
children?
like, okay.
Listen. Are your children an asset to another man?
They can be.
I didn't ask if they can. How can they be?
Some guys just want to be stepdaddy.
No. Tell me how they can be an asset.
Can't tell you nothing right now. Can't think of anything. So you got me. You're right.
If bottom line, man, you married a military guy. Why are y'all divorcing?
He was cheating, and we can't work it out because he's a narcissist. So
okay,
it's just not working out.
Narcissist has he had a clinical designation of narcissist? Or are you just saying that?
Clinical medication. Something's going on.
Narcissists lack empathy. Okay, so a narcissist is a narcissist. He's been around children, so he has no. Okay, all right. I'm gonna say this, man. This whole high value thing has a lot of you ladies in a bad position. Man, you're in Alabama. You're a divorcee with 2 kids, and you want one. Do you care if he's black? The man is black.
I would prefer him to be black. Yes.
And that means you want 8% of black men. 8%. 8% of black men earn over $100,000, and they don't really tend to live in Alabama. That's 8%, regardless as to the age. 8%, regardless as to their current marital status. 8%, regardless as to sexual orientation. And you didn't make babies with an 8% man. You made babies with a guy in the middle. Please explain to me why you want a guy who's so high up now. That's what I really want to understand.
I feel there's nothing wrong with wanting a stepdaddy with high value. Like, it's okay for me wanting my kids to go to private school. Like,
really?
If that makes, I think.
Tell me why. Tell me why it's okay.
Because if I find a guy and he's high value and he's okay with, I just don't see how it's like, oh, she got kids. Oh, I understand it is like more options out there, but just like, it's possible.
Really? So you don't see any problem, you don't see any issue with wanting your kids to go to private school that you cannot afford to pay for and your husband can't afford to pay for?
No, like, if that's what I'm gonna
tell you this. That's one of the issues in our community, that a woman like yourself could honestly come up and say, I don't see any problem getting somebody who had nothing to do with this to pay for the bill. That's that welfare state mentality.
No, that's that.
Listen. I'm not insulting you, man, but listen. You can't afford it. Your husband can't afford it. That means you don't get it. The only way you could get your kids in private school is to find somebody else who's willing to put your kids in private school. You want your kids in private school? Get a nanny, get a tutor, work with them to get them a scholarship. That's what you're supposed to do. Go get a second job. Go. Don't go get your hair done.
And that's another thing. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and
okay. Ma'am, in this life, we get what we work, what we earn and worth. You want somebody else to pay your bills. That is unfair. It is selfish.
How?
Because you don't have the money. And But not you can't afford to put your kid. Oh Jesus!
Comes from money.
Okay, let me go ahead and grab this mute button because you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, but you can't afford to put your kids in private school.
That's what you said. I didn't say that I can't afford.
But you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, by implication, meaning they're going to be paying for it, not you. I'm not trying to play semantics.
That's true. Games. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is yes,
exactly.
They'll be paying for it if they're my husband.
No, they're not your husband. They'll be your step.
If they were.
All right. So in other words, guys, pay attention. These are the women you need to pay attention to. These are the women that really don't care about you, because you said it, ma'am. If it were your sons, you would want him to go start his own family, but you're
I don't like how you.
But I don't care, man. The way the words came out, the way you said, if they were your sons, you would want them to start their own families.
Yes.
But for you,
but I also said if they do want to be stepdaddy, they can be. So
that's not the point. Cool. I didn't ask. No, again.
Sure.
Again, pay attention to what's going on here. It's because of her. It's not because it's what's right.
No,
it's not because of what's right or what's best.
No, you're trying to flip it.
I'm not flipping shit. I'm saying exactly what you're saying. It's not because of what's right or what's best. It's because of it's you. That's what it is. It's because of it's her. Think about what she's saying. I would want my sons to get the best possible, but I want you to pay for it, and that's fine. But what is he going to get for that? Me? And this is the mentality that guys are listening to, ladies, and saying, do y'all give a damn about it? Talk about narcissist? Did that woman sound like she cared about a man? Let's get to the next one.